Hi, my name is Paul Grisanti. I'm a real estate broker with Coldwell Banker. I moved to Malibu in 1978, January of 1978, and I have been a real estate salesman first and then a broker for that entire time. I have a degree in economics. That's what I studied in college, and since we haven't added any new retail space in the past 15 years, it's not surprising that the people who want to do retail here would compete heavily and push the rents up. The only way rents are going to come down or even stabilize is if we build some more retail. I know that the La Paz project has been in planning for several years, like 6. I know that they're offering one of the options they're offering the city is in exchange for a density bonus of approximately 30,000 feet. 20,000 of those feet will be allocated to a new city hall. They will give a portion of the property to the city and give them all the reports they need to build, as well as I think about 500,000 in cash towards their building costs. I think it's a tremendous public benefit, and I think it's really time for the city of Malibu to take a hard look at what we're doing as far as having a home for the city hall, and thinking about we're old enough now that we ought to own rather than rent. One of the neat things about the project and the way they've set it up is to stick the parking underground so that when you drive up to it, all you see is a big grassy area going up to the buildings. And that instead of a sea of asphalt, which is going to absorb heat and radiate it back out, we're going to have a sea of grass, which will be a gathering place for the people who are renting space in the building. The landscape plan shows quite a few seating areas and treed areas, which are nice to gather in. People are in Malibu because they want to be outdoors. I mean, look at where we are now. There's a huge amount of people who show up every day at the Country Mart. They show up at the Country Mart because it's a comfortable place. They show up at the Country Mart because there's seating areas and people are comfortable in food and all the rest of that. I took part in the first 24 general plan task force meetings, and everybody in all those meetings said, don't put development near me, put it in the Civic Center. Now we actually, 15 years later, have a chance of doing that. I'm in support of it. One of the things we heard about at the general plan task force meetings over and over was people wanted Malibu to have a personality, like Carmel has a personality, Monterey has a personality, and the historical thing that people referred to over and over again is the Adamson House. And the Adamson House has a lot of really wonderful architectural cues, and anybody who's spent any time at the Adamson House grounds for an event knows that it's a very comfortable kind of space. And I think it's a great idea. I think it's what we need. This is entirely funded with private money and actually is going to result in a gift of private monies to the city of Malibu if we opt for the 20% floor area ratio. It is not a bad thing that for the city to own real property. And if at some future point this city hall becomes not large enough and we're not able to rent enough other space in the same building, we can always rent it out to somebody else who needs a space and build a city hall somewhere else. I've spent the last 30 and a half years counseling people to own property, to manage property, to be a landlord. Why would I want to give the city any other advice? The city should own property. I'm in support of this project. I think that we ought to opt for the 20% floor area ratio so that we get the city hall out of it. I can't believe that it's even a question.